Here I am, I'm Painty, and today I'm introducing you to a new color for homemade paint. We're talking about black, a timelessly elegant color that pairs beautifully with wood, whether in modern homes or in homes that are a bit more classic. I remind you that videos on warm white and ice white are already out. I'll leave the links in the description. And don't miss my playlist on how to make homemade paint. I'll leave the link up here on the right. To make the black color, you'll need kaolin, which is the clay we use as a filler, black oxide pigment, PRIMAL, which is our acrylic resin, demineralized water, and the gums, specifically METHYLCELLULOSE and rice starch. Be careful, I had already prepared the gums. If you want to know how to prepare them, you can find the videos in my playlist on how to make paint at home. To make approximately 400 grams of paint, the amounts required you'll need are 100 grams of black oxide pigment, around 80 grams of kaolin and 90 grams of primal, 30 grams of methylcellulose, and 50 grams of rice starch, plus water as needed. I remind you that you can find all these ingredients on antikitabalsiro.it or amikuchi.it. First of all, we carefully pour approximately 100 grams of pigment into a receptacle large enough to hold all the ingredients. Then we add 50 grams of distilled water and blend everything together. Now we very carefully and thoroughly prepare the gums in a separate container. We start by pouring in exactly the 30 grams of methylcellulose. Then we also carefully add the 50 grams of rice starch. Finally, we mix the gums vigorously so that they can blend as well as possible. Next, we combine the gums with the previously blended pigments and mix thoroughly. We carefully place 80 grams of kaolin in a small bowl. Then we add 60 grams of distilled water and mix well. At this point, we carefully add the kaolin to the main container and continue mixing thoroughly. we carefully prepare our 90 grams of Primal. Then we slowly and gradually add the Primal to the mixture, stirring continuously. Finally, we pour our paint into a container, filtering it with a sieve to remove any lumps. As you can see, we have obtained 400 grams of paint. Remember to always clearly label it with the color name and the production date. This time I didn't add nipagin, which as a reminder is a biocidal fungicide, because I used the paint within a few days. But if you already know that you won't use it right away or will only use part of it, you can add a tiny amount of nipagin. Be careful not to add too much as it has an unpleasant odor. This color is very easy to make because it only requires a single pigment. And even if you don't blend it perfectly, it won't be noticeable because it's not mixed with other pigments. So you can make the paint at home in a very little time. Now I'll show you how well this black paint adheres and covers in the first and second coat. And remember to always use a crisscross brush stroke, at least for the first coat, to achieve top coverage with just 2 coats and no primer. Since this paint is clay-based, specifically kaolin, remember that it always needs to be protected in the end. You can use vegan and supernatural wax or protective finishes made from natural resins such as copal and sandorak. If you haven't seen how to make them yet, I'll leave the videos here on the side. Go watch them now. And subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of the restyling recipes. Bye! See you in the next video!